Did you know that Donald Trump is commonly compared to Andrew Jackson, the seventh president of the United States and founder of the Democrat Party? And both men are commonly quoted as stating, "I am the calm before the storm." This behind me is the Titanic, and it's very wet and murky outside, just like it is in the entirety of the United States in these hours, to be very honest with you. Now, Andrew Jackson, similar to Donald Trump, it was commonly stated in his time that his first election was, how do I tastefully say it, taken from him by the elites of that day. But in the second time around, the populace loved Andrew Jackson so greatly that the election of Andrew Jackson simply couldn't be overcome. You know, I always have wondered what really happened to the Titanic. Was it just an accident? But many people believe that the United States is very much like the Titanic. It was just too big to ever sink. There's the iceberg right there. Now, in the prophecies of Kim Clement, which almost make a timeline that you could follow, even an atheist would get chills down his arm and spine looking at those. He had what's called the seasons prophecy with a strange July. This is Trump down on the ground with the blood nearly nicking the ear, like the priests would do in the Old Testament. They would anoint the ear. He said this man will have two terms. He will be a praying president, but not a praying president when he starts. But also it creates nearly what looks like war paint. Strange July, hypnotic November, and then oddly enough, oh December, when I show you who I have chosen and set aside to pray for and guide this nation. I wonder what all of that means. Behind me is the WonderWorks building. It's actually a building flipped upside down. It's a kid's science building, but it's also got the pillars of a political building, or a congressional hall is what it's got. But it's an image of an upside down world, which is what your world is right now today. Now, speaking of sevens, like Andrew Jackson, the seventh president of the United States, specifically coincidences surrounding our founders, just like this Founders Bible that's in my hand right here, given to me by a lady with many prophetic words about Donald Trump. In fact, it's a Bible identical to the one in my hand that I believe is sitting on President Trump's desk. But on the day that President Trump was elected for the first time in the year of 2017, Donald Trump, would become the 45th president of the United States, corresponding with Isaiah 45, or the prophecy of King Cyrus, like is written on this Cyrus cylinder in my hand. Cyrus cylinder would be a changing of the guard from Babylon to Persia. The people of Babylon wanted King Cyrus to take over Babylon, which he did largely without a fight. He did it by stealth. That's Cyrus's face next to Donald Trump on that coin right there. King Cyrus conquered Babylon largely through the financial systems. He's credited with improving the common man's life. That prophecy comes from Isaiah 45, just as Trump was the 45th president of the United States. But in terms of sevens, on the day that this man, Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States, would lay his hand on that Bible and swear in as the 45th president of the United States, he was exactly 70 years old, 7 months, and 7 days on the exact day he laid his hand on that Bible. Now that would happen in the Gregorian year on your calendar of 2017, or in the Hebrew year of 5, the number of grace, 777. Now, is all that a coincidence? I'm quoting my friend Scotty Clark when I state, you don't see that every day. Now it's actually raining outside, but if I point over this way, this is another picture of your world. If you look right through that camera, you have the wow, amazing, celebrity, predictions, cover-up, sensation, scandal, all of it combined into one. And then if we come over to this direction, I have up here Hollywood, and on top of it is a giant King Kong on top of the building, coming in to literally tear the cities apart. Over here this way, I don't want to keep the audio close because the rain and the music backwards. You have your golden idol of Babylon, of Hollywood. As we turn this way, the Wax Museum. Now in the book of Isaiah, in chapter 45, there's actually a 4-verse lead in to 45. Now 44, of course, would be Barack Obama, the 44th president of the United States. Just like Elon Musk bought Twitter for, what was it? I didn't even think about this until just now. Was that $44 billion? The Wax Museum of Hollywood, because they're all made of wax. Let's walk this way. It's raining pretty bad. See if you can stay on me. It's really a picture of your world. Wow. Wow, guys, it's nice and rainy out there.
I'm gonna be
so on this side of it, right over here, on that dark street surrounded by cover-up, scandal, do you ever feel like in all of your medias, it's almost as if behind all of it, behind the wax facade, that there was a literal monster wanting to break through and take everything. You have on the inside of Hollywood, you literally have King Kong coming and grabbing you through. Can I stand over there by the King Kong? What? Come on in? Okay. All right. Now, in Kim Clement's prophecy, he stated there would be an uncovering of great evil, and I would start from the top. But the shaking would be good for America. There would be a shaking that would come to America. But the shaking will be good for America because you're about to embark on a journey you have never embarked upon before. In fact, in those very prophecies, he was saying there was even a snake hidden in your capital, and it would take some work as these hours of shaking occurred to coax the snake out. But the shaking from this exposure would cause the nation to tremble. And they would say this has never happened before in our country and our culture. You know, Walt Disney, did you know that Walt Disney would always portray what's inside of castles? Even when I was growing up as a kid, they were full of dungeons and skeletons and witches with witches' brews. And in front of all of that, you have all of your celebrities, your stars. I'd like to read you a passage, and there comes a point where people just no longer are following the stars. They're all so sad and upset if you vote the wrong way, because movie stars all know about science and politics. They're the experts, correct? All right. Well, so there's the giant King Kong tearing the building apart. Okay, so, and as we come over this way, you have all of the faces that are up here. They're actually drenched with rain, which is kind of poetic for these moments that we're walking through, and the entirety of the nation So your faces that are carved in are not your presidents or your patriots, but they're your Hollywood claimed heroes, your wax figures. And behind all of that, lo and behold, is your castle of chaos over here, which is a house of mirrors that you will walk through. The castle of chaos, which is inside of castles. And that's what's behind Hollywood, in front of which is your King Kong trying to tear your world apart. Let me come over here and walk you inside the house of horrors. Whatever the case, you have a 4-verse lead-in to 45, where Cyrus would make entrance, King Cyrus, printed on these coins. And strangely, that entire chapter is about and going into the temple, like is printed on the back of this Israeli Hebrew half shekel printed in Israel, with Donald Trump's face and King Cyrus's face on the front of the coin. Now, if he wins, he would technically be the 47th president. Is that correct? Now, these were called a conspiracy, like most everything in your world today, but I actually discovered these when I was in Israel, on the, what was it? It was, oh yeah, the 70th anniversary of Israel becoming a nation, also matching up with biblical prophecy. It's kind of a stealth and ancient. This has so many references to the ancient world. King Cyrus was a great military general that lowered the moats of Babylon and took entrance the very heart of Babylon. I want to thank all of you that have supported God in a Nutshell over time. We will be live streaming the election with many, many interviews with people during the night. So if you're clicking through channels and looking at election coverage, if you get a chance to come over to God in a Nutshell, I pray over every single one of you and your families. I ask for a precision in you like you have never had before. I ask that the days that are ahead for your life and the life of this nation, just as are in those prophecies. Can you hear the storm behind me? There is a storm coming, and we're going to be covering it at godinanutshell.com on election night. I pray that the days that are past, both in this nation, even to the time of its founders, but also in your life, no matter what race, creed, color, or where your background is from, I pray that the days that are coming are greater than all of the days that are past. Inside of here. So, hello.
Hi.
Hey, how's it going? So, not yet.
We're just waiting for the rain.
Yeah. So, and this is inside of the castle at the end of the Hollywood Strip in Branson, Missouri. Hey man, how's it going?
Sure.
All right, cool. There you go.
I'm so good.
All right, so let's walk this way. And that's what it looks like out front, Branson. This is really a picture. This is one night before the election in the heart of Branson. And I think it kind of paints a picture of your world. I'm Trey Smith of God in a Nutshell. God bless every last one of you. Every last one of you. And your families on the other side of this screen. Come and see us over at godinanutshell.com on election night, looking at some of our opinions of coverage as you're clicking through channels.